Welcome back. With a population of more than 600 million and a nominal GDP of 2.31 trillion US dollar, ASEAN, or the Association of Southeast Asia Nations, is fast becoming a major economic force in Asia and a driver of global growth. As the economies of neighboring such as China and India decelerate, and as the US shifts its focus to the east, the region is increasingly becoming a destination for investment.
Located at the heart of the Asia-Pacific region and situated across major trade routes, 5.3 trillion US dollar of global trade pays through its waterways each year. ASEAN is the United States' third largest ASEAN trading partner and the largest ASEAN destination for US investment. It also receives the largest chunk of outgoing investment from the European Union at 24%. At the current growth rates, ASEAN should become the fourth largest market after the European Union, US and China by 2030, supported by an increasingly well-educated workforce, abundant natural resources, and favorable geographic location. As ASEAN grows, recent research shows the region now receives more foreign direct investment inflow than China. In the chairman's statement from 33rd ASEAN Summit from November 2018 in Singapore, 5 key economic goals were identified for the region are promoting innovation and e-commerce, cultivating and productive regulatory and legal framework, improving ease of trade, expanding current service and investment integration, and strengthening ASEAN international relations. From all sources, IDX Channel.
Southeast Asia's lucrative investment climate has continued to garner global recognition over the past few years, according to a panel discussion conducted at the ASEAN Financial Forum 2019. Southeast Asia has officially been dubbed the best investment destination in 2019. And let's take a look at the data about investment growth in ASEAN region. The first one will be about foreign direct investment growth in Singapore. We can see through the next data from 2015 to 2018, the value of foreign direct investment in Singapore, 5.97 billion US dollar in 2015. In 2016, increased to 73.9 billion US dollar. The number keeps on increasing to 77.6 billion US dollar. And Singapore, as the country with the biggest foreign direct investment net value in ASEAN region. This one is taken from the source or ASEAN Investment Report 2019. According to UNCTAD's World Investment Report 2019, Singapore was the fourth largest recipient of FDI inflows in the world in 2018 after the United States, China, and Hong Kong. FDI inflows rose to 77.65 billion US dollar in 2018 from 75.72 billion US dollar a year earlier, and at their highest to date, according to revised figures of UNCTAD. Singapore is also a major investor abroad and has sought to diversify its investment beyond its traditional target markets in Asia, namely China, India, and Vietnam in recent years. The main investors in Singapore are the United States, British Virgin Islands, Cayman Islands, and the Netherlands. And how about Indonesia and Vietnam? The reason why I put these countries in the same comparison, because recently there is some kind of a competition in terms of value of foreign direct investment flowing into the countries. And let's see the next data. The red one indicates for the investment or foreign direct investment value in Indonesia, and the yellow one indicates for the value of foreign direct investment in Vietnam. In 2015, 2017, and 2018, the number of foreign direct investment in Indonesia outnumbered Vietnam. But in 2016, Vietnam was outnumbered Indonesia as in foreign direct investment value. And this one is taken from ASEAN Investment Report 2019. And as you can see, the number of foreign direct investment comparison between Indonesia and Vietnam was quite fluctuative. In fact, Indonesia is struggling to attract foreign investments, which are instead going to neighboring countries such as Vietnam and Cambodia as they embark on their regulation and policy solutions, according to the World Bank. As President Joko Widodo said in early September this year, businesses are moving out of China but are not coming to Indonesia because Indonesia's neighbors are more welcoming. President Joko Widodo even said that moving factories from China to Indonesia is more risky, complicated, and will take at least 1 year, if not more, while the process is certain and more shorter in Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, and Taiwan. Then who's the main investors with the biggest investment value invested in ASEAN countries? Let's see the next data. These investors with the biggest investment value invested in ASEAN countries: USA, $8 billion US dollar. Hong Kong, $10 billion US dollar, China, $10 billion US dollar, Japan, $21 billion US dollar, and investment between ASEAN countries, or we can call it intra-ASEAN countries investment, as much as $25 billion US dollar. According to the Japan External Trade Organization, direct investment in Southeast Asia by Japanese companies totaled $22 billion US dollar in 2017, twice as much as in 2012. By contrast, Japanese investment in China decreased by 30% over the same period to $9.6 billion US dollar. The Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, or CPTPP, that entered into force in December 2018 further contributes to the location of Japanese investments in Southeast Asia. So how much the value of FDI in Indonesia and its investors' contribution? We are going to see the next data. This is foreign direct investment in Indonesia in 2018. The total value of the foreign direct investment reached $22 billion US dollar. 53% of them are coming from Singapore, Japan 25%, China 11%, Hong Kong 6%, and USA 5% only. FDI flows into Indonesia have grown, and their base has been expanding thanks to resilient economic growth, low government debt, and prudent fiscal management. In 2018, FDI investment in Indonesia reached $22 billion US dollar, an increase from 2017 as much as 6.8%. The government has introduced stimulus packages mainly focusing on deregulation, law enforcement, and business certainty, interest rate tax cuts for exporters, energy tariffs cuts for labor-intensive industry, tax-intensive for investment in special economic zones, and lowered tax rates on property acquired by local real estate investment trust. The country is the 60th recipient of FDI inflows in 2018 and the 5th one in developing Asia. So how much the value of FDI in Vietnam and each investor's contribution? Let's see the next data. This is foreign direct investment in Vietnam in 2018. 33% contributed by Japan, 27% contributed by South Korea, 19% from Singapore, 12% from Hong Kong, and 9% coming from or came from China. The total FDI of Vietnam in 2018 reached $15.5 billion US dollar. In the future, Vietnam is aiming to attract foreign investment in line with the goal of sustainable development, giving priority to quality projects with added value and high competitiveness, streamlining legal institutions and policies, as well as improving the business investment environment in line with market standards and international rules are important to attract foreign investment effectively. And hopefully every member of ASEAN countries can catch the foreign direct investment opportunities and creating even more interesting investment climate in the region. Stay tuned on Market Headlines because we'll be right back after the break.